Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Unbecoming Lifestyle. This is part 2, continued of the A Real OG story. And as you may know, my name is Orlando Gunn. And in the previous episode, I talked about a kid having a dream of living that fast life and having an opportunity to make it to a beautiful city such as Miami. But being frantic and being desperate made me susceptible to being scammed. And I had an awakening of a dream that prompted me to get dressed, put on a suit at 4 or 5 in the morning, drive down to Miami, and I ultimately landed a job, my NFL dream job, with the Miami Dolphins by 6 p.m. that night. I ended up moving to Miami a week later, but only to be found duped, if you will, scammed by a great scam artist of a housing or apartment complex downtown Brickell, Miami. And I ended up wiring $1,500 not to get an apartment. And the crazy thing was, I needed a place immediately. I had worked that Monday, got the job that Friday, and had to find my way down to Miami by Monday the next week. And one thing led to another, just through networking, through being a people person, through being a connector, and trying to just build relationships. I ultimately reached out to a friend of mine by the name of Gabe, and even though the worst of the worst could have happened to me, the best thing happened next. And so that's why I can smile simply in this video and let you know that I had one. And sometimes in life, if you can just have one person in your corner, one person to have your back, one person to care for you, one person to help you, that's all you need. And so, amidst the scamming situation, I prayed to God. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make it through this. I definitely need help. I definitely need a break. I was just sending up my prayers, and my prayer was answered. And through a networking event, I had met a friend of mine named Gabe, and Gabe was a really awesome guy. He was killing it in his industry, and humbly, I just said, man, I'd love to connect with you, work with you, hang out, and maybe learn some things from you. But I did not know, less than a month later, I'd be living on this guy's couch in the city of Miami. So I reached out to Gabe. I told him what happened, and out of the generosity of his heart, and he understanding the entrepreneurial struggle as well as hustle. He was a teacher at the time, but building several businesses on the side. He said, you know what, man, I got a couch you can crash on until you get on your feet, because I know how hard it is in the city of Miami. And so one thing led to another, man. I packed up what little bit I had and drove on down to Miami, got scammed, and then reached out to Gabe same day, and I ended up on his couch. And so I stayed there for about 2 months before I could actually find a legitimate, and emphasis on legitimate, a legitimate apartment. But it was an awesome time. We both got to vibe, do life together. He also lived with his girlfriend at the time, and we went out to dinner. They showed me around the city. It was just a great introduction to such a sour situation. And just looking back at that time, I wasn't really trying to allow a negative event to derail where I really wanted to go, because that was just the first one. There were several more negative events after that. I still had my stuff in a house in Orlando, and I needed to get my things shipped down, but I also had to be at work every single day. And so I was working in sales and marketing for the Miami Dolphins at the time. And the crazy thing was, when you're working in sales, there's never time off. You're always working. You're never not working, right? And in order to make a sale, you gotta be on the phones all day, all night, sending text messages, shooting emails, setting up visits. And so I didn't have time to get back to Orlando before the family we were renting from brought in another family. So I had a friend of a friend reach out to someone they know. It was referred, so I trusted the source. I asked this person to just go ahead and pack up a few things, whatever you can, fit into your vehicle and drive on down to the city. And so this friend of a friend, they were in Orlando. They packed up my stuff. I said, hey, by the way, there's a small envelope of money that I need to be brought to me that was given to me because I overpaid my rent. And so she's like, sure, I'll bring everything. So her, unbeknownst to me, her and some other gentleman packed up all my things in the back of their truck. They drove on down, and in the middle of the work day, I get a call, and she's like, hey, it's hot. You know, you had more than just a few things. Come and get your crap. And if you're not here in 15 or 20 minutes, we're just gonna drop it off in the middle of the street. What? And I'm at work, suited and booted, trying to make calls, trying to get these deals done. And I'm like, hey boss, I gotta go. There's an emergency situation. I don't know exactly where they're at, but they said they're at a gas station in the middle of the street. They're gonna drop all my stuff. I'm not there in 20 minutes. So I jump in the car, speed across town to an address I really don't even know where it is. And get there, there's this lady standing there with my stuff. The back of the trunk is open and my stuff is just thrown in there. And so she was heated. She was so upset that I had so much stuff left at the apartment. And she said, you know what? You didn't tell me you had so much crap. Mind you, I said, hey, if you can grab whatever you can grab, it'd be awesome. But just please bring me that small envelope because I need that for my rent this month. So she starts throwing my stuff out, setting it out on the ground. Out of nowhere, this guy comes out of the car. He's bigger than me, right? And so he's standing there like this. She's throwing my stuff out on the ground. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? I'm trying to grab my stuff, put it in the car, and then, you know, they give me a few minutes to get a couple things. A few minutes, emphasis on that. And so I'm not moving fast enough for them. They're hot. It is hot in Miami. It was summertime. And at the same time, all the while I'm wondering, while I'm so angry, frustrated, embarrassed, you know, I'm in a suit, sweating in Miami, picking my stuff up off the ground from these two complete strangers. I'm never using this resource ever again, by the way. And believe it or not, I was like, hey, you got that envelope with the money? She's like, yeah, I got that envelope. Grabs a couple bills out of the envelope, takes it. This is for me and my boyfriend, help. And then throws the rest of it at me. Money starts flying all over the place. And that's my second welcome to Miami instance. Like, keep in mind, I'm trying to keep it professional. Keep in mind, I'm heated to the full extent, right? And oh, by the way, I have to go back to work. So I take what little bit of money I have, right? I'm not trying to go crazy. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm not trying to commit any crimes. I take the little bit of envelope I got left, pack up all my stuff to the brim. I can't even see out my back seat. Drive back to work and start making those phone calls. Welcome to Miami.